Hello guys, I'm Combo Movie Film Productions, and welcome to the Marvel Imprint Retrospective. Today's film is a follow-up to the first Kick-Ass film, Kick-Ass 2. The film was in production after the first film did modestly well at the box office and it did well critically. So Matthew Vaughn and his production company got Jeff Wadlow to write and direct the Kick-Ass sequel. Due to Matthew Vaughn at the time working on the sequel to X-Men First Class in his planned trilogy, but left due to Fox wanting to do Days of Future Past instead, which would have been the final installment in Vaughn's trilogy, and after that decided to work on Kingsman. Meanwhile, most of the cast from the first film returned, and other stars like Jim Carrey joined, and the film was put together and released in the theaters in August 2013, but sadly the film bombed at the box office as well as being received poorly from critics and audiences. There were many factors that were put into the film bombing from the reviews, like adventures of the competition at the box office, or maybe due to the controversy the film had due to its violent nature, and this wasn't long after the Sandy Hook shooting took place when the film started putting out trailers and Jim Carrey came out and didn't promote the movie for that reason. Regardless of the reasons, the film flopped and the planned Hit Girl spinoff along with the Kick-Ass 3 got canned. But as of 2018, Matthew Vaughn said that he and his production company are planning to reboot Kick-Ass in the future, but we'll talk about that later. Now with the history out of the way, let's get into the plot. The film is set 2 years after the events of the first film, where Dave and Mindy attend the same high school, but live different lives. Dave, since the ending of the first film, gave up his superior identity, while Mindy is still out fighting bad guys in her own base that she skipped school to go to. Dave realizes this and wants to be Kick-Ass again, so he and Mindy train for Dave to get back into shape. The world at this point has been influenced by Kick-Ass, and now there are multiple superhero groups in New York. Meanwhile, Chris D'Amico is still bitter with Kick-Ass and wants revenge for him killing his dad, but his mom won't let him do it. Quickly after that, he accidentally kills his mom in the tanning bed and is now in charge, so he and his bodyguard Javier, played by John Leguizamo, assemble a team of bad guys to hunt Kick-Ass down, and Chris dresses up in a costume and goes by the name the Motherfucker. At the same time, Mindy's guardian Marcus, now played by Morris Chestnut, finds out she is still doing her superhero crime fighting and forces her to stop hanging out with Dave and give up the superhero life and try to focus on being a regular high school girl. Dave is disappointed by this and decides to join a league of superheroes called Justice Forever. The head being Colonel Stars and Stripes, an ex-mafia gangster turned born-again Christian played by Jim Carrey, along with a few other members such as Dr. Gravity, Insect Man, Battle Guy, who is secretly Dave's friend Marty, and other members as well as they help with the community and fight crime, as Dave starts to have feelings for one of the members, Night Bitch, as they start making out bathroom stalls. Meanwhile, Chris assembles a supervillain team known as the Toxic Mecha Cunts by paying off some bad guys who are willing to cause destruction with Chris. Also, Mindy starts to live the life of a high school girl by getting invited to a sleepover, hanging out with the popular chicks, and thinks of the superhero life as silly now. But when she outdoes the most popular girl on the cheer team, Brooke, she then turns the tides on Mindy and embarrasses her in front of all the popular people at her school by ditching her in the woods and insulting her when she thought she was going to a party. She then goes to Dave for advice and she takes it in at beating them at their own game by getting a device called the stick, which causes a pulse that makes people vomit and have diarrhea simultaneously, and she uses it on the popular chicks and she embarrasses them in front of the whole school. Meanwhile, Chris plans on destroying everything Kick-Ass loves by hunting down the members of Justice Forever, firstly killing Colonel Stars and Stripes and hunting down Night Bitch and destroying the neighborhood she lives in, and ends up with multiple cops being killed as a result. This causes the city to arrest any and all superheroes, regardless of what they've done. Then Dave's father cleanses Kick-Ass and gets arrested to protect Dave. At Chris's new base, he comes across Dave and Marty's friend Todd, who after having an argument with the both of them is frustrated and gives away that Dave's father is actually Kick-Ass's dad. So Chris gets a couple of people to go into his cell and kill him, and he sends a text to Dave of the images. At the funeral, Dave, Mindy, and the rest of Justice Forever are ambushed by Chris's team, and they kidnap Dave and plan to murder him, but Mindy chases them and manages to kill everybody in the van. Mindy then decides to suit back up and fight with Dave against Chris's army. Dave calls out for all superheroes to join them and meet in Chris's base. Both sides meet up and have a massive battle, ending with the good guys winning and Chris getting eaten by a shark in a shark tank. Dave realizes that there can be no more superheroes anymore, and that they must go back to their normal lives. The film ends with everybody going back to normal as Mindy decides to run away, while Dave makes his own Kick-Ass Iron Man-like suit, as credits roll to a post-credit scene of Chris in the hospital, revealing he survived the shark incident but with no limbs as he struggles to get a sip of water as credits roll. The biggest thing this film does well is further developing the main characters from the original and how they would naturally be at their lives following the first film. Dave being unsure of his life, Mindy continuing her father's legacy by still crime fighting, and Chris still trying to avenge his dad by killing Kick-Ass. It's mostly fleshed out well, and those parts are the best parts of the movie, along with whenever the superhero teams come to play from both sides. Justice Forever provides a lot of levity to the film, and all the members are fun to see on screen, especially Jim Carrey, and Chris's team provides a lot of over-the-top action and menacing bad guys, the standout being Mother Russia. The action when it's shown on screen is fairly well choreographed and exciting. The comedy for the most part is really funny. The standout for me was the stick scene, along with the Justice Forever parts. The score is decent, the costume design is great, the acting is solid from everybody, ranging in different performances based on their characters, and I was entertained watching the movie overall. What really drags the movie down for me is how overstuffed the movie is. There are so many subplots that you can make at least 3 other Kick-Ass sequels based on how much this movie juggles. It would be interesting to see what the Kick-Ass 3 and Hit Girl spinoff would be like, but I feel like they already did those in this movie. It was like the writers decided to throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. From Chris's revenge and forming his own team, Justice Forever and how Kick-Ass affected the world with superheroes, Hit-Girl trying to fit into society, Dave being conflicted with Kick-Ass and having a distant relationship with his father, superheroes being hunted down and having to give up being a superhero, Hit-Girl trying to live up to her father's legacy as well as trying to keep the promises with Marcus, and so much more crammed into an hour and 40 minutes. Because of this, nothing in the movie feels it has any weight to it or feels underdeveloped. Characters just make decisions out of the blue, and nothing really gets time to have an arc besides our three main characters. Along with that, the movie doesn't have the charm that Matthew Vaughn brought to the previous film, and everything feels like shock value now, and loses a lot of the human aspects it feels like due to the overabundance of superhero subplots. The editing during the action scenes is choppy at best and doesn't drive with the rest of the movie. Also, with how bold this movie is, it can drag at points due to so much going on, and by the end, it just feels rushed, despite this movie taking 3 years to come out. All in all, Kick-Ass 2 is decent overall in my opinion. The acting, character development, comedy, score, costume design, and overall entertainment value outweighs the negatives of the overbloated script and weak direction, losing a lot of the charm what made the first film special, choppy editing, and the rushed and overcrowded feeling this film gives off throughout. I enjoyed it overall, but it's nowhere near as good as the first film, and I wish the series had a better send-off, but I do have hope that the Kick-Ass reboot will be better than this film at least. I gave Kick-Ass 2 a B-, a 7 out of 10, and a rented recommendation. So that's Kick-Ass 2, what do you guys think about it? Leave your thoughts in the comments and please make sure to like and subscribe for more content. I'm Combo Movie from Productions, signing out.